Hello, welcome to Longshot Larry's Sports Astrology. Quick one today on Sydney Swans versus the Port Adelaide Power in the AFL round 4. We had a look at Port Adelaide last week, so we're going to see what's happening this week. Sydney Swans are strong favourites for this one. This chart here, we can see that Venus is on the descendant. Venus rules the descendant, so in the Frawley method, that is 1 for them. The Sun is forming a semi-square to Saturn today. It's not going to be quite exact during this game. If we look at the Antiska positions, you can see that Mars, Lord of the First, is applying to a conjunction to the Antiska of the part of Fortune. So we got one apiece here, so that's pretty even. Bring up the Sydney coach, John Longmire. So he's a Capricorn. His Mars natally is opposing Saturn, which rules his Capricorn Sun. And you can see during this game here that the moon is going to start pretty close to that. It's going to go over his Mars and oppose Saturn. It's going to get to his Saturn just before the end of the game. So I think that's a negative for the Swans coach today. Looking at the Sydney captain, Callum Mills. He's an Aries. He's got Jupiter is applying to a quincunx to his Mars, nearly exact. Quincunxes are quite neutral and Mars rules his Aries Sun, so I think that's a positive for him. It does have Uranus on the IC here, but I don't think that links. It is sextile his Sun wide natally, but I don't think that's a major influence. Looking at the Port Adelaide coach, Ken Hinkley, who is under a lot of pressure at the moment. He may be losing his job soon, we're not sure. So he's a Libran Sun. So Venus on the descendant, he should relate well to Venus generally. Venus is past a trine to his natal Venus, which rules his Sun, so we can't look at that. Venus natally is opposite his Saturn, which we looked at last week, and Neptune is going over that degree. Now Neptune can be dreams coming true or defeat grabbed from the jaws of victory. This week, Neptune is exactly trine the ascendant at the start. So Neptune is hard to decipher. I think it's probably going to work in a little bit more of a positive light this week. He does have Jupiter applying to a trine to his Mars, but it's probably too far away. It's more likely next week. Tom Jonas, the Port Adelaide captain, is also under fire. He's been reported as being underperforming the last few weeks. His Venus on the descendant is just past a trine to his natal Saturn, and Saturn rules his Capricorn Sun, and Saturn is trine Mars natally, and Neptune is also sextile his Saturn. So I think that looks pretty good for the Port Adelaide captain. The first game for Port Adelaide, now this is the first game they played in the AFL competition. They are a lot older than that as a club, formed in the 19th century. What's going on here? Well, I find this interesting. Jupiter at 20 Aries is conjunct the MC. And Uranus is on the IC at the start for the first game. And Uranus is sextile the Sun natally. So that's a nice pattern with the MC. One other thing I'm looking at is the recent history between these two. So this is Sydney versus Port Adelaide. You can see Port Adelaide has won the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games. So there must be something in the way Port Adelaide match up against Sydney. So looking at this in summary, the Frawley method is quite even here. There's nothing outstanding there. I think from the alignments, I'd probably give the edge to Port Adelaide here. However, I think this is going to be a very, very close game. Port Adelaide have won the last 6 head-to-head. So if Port Adelaide are going to do well today, they really need that Neptune to function in a more positive light today, being trine the ascendant at the start. So I think Port Adelaide have got a 9.5 point start. So I think they should do well and cover that. I think they're a good chance for a win. I think it's going to come right down to the wire here. Not overly confident they'll win, but I think they should cover the 19.5. So anyway, thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.